Dear teacher, this video recording is to show you the series Academy Stars and the digital presentation software that goes with it called Teacher's Presentation Kit. Academy Stars is a British English primary course. You are using the first 5 levels, starters and 1 in year 1, 2 in year 2, 3 in year 3 and 4 in year 4. Levels 1 and 2 comprise of the Cambridge Young Learners Exam Starters syllabus. 3 and 4 include the Movers syllabus. Now, the series comes with a range of resources for pupils and teachers. To access these resources, the pupils will need to use the code in their pupils book at the website called macmillaneducationeverywhere.com. They will receive a pupils book, a workbook, and in the pupils book they will see the code. Once they activate the code, they will receive a range of resources in the resource center, plus a pupils practice kit, which has a learning management system functionality for the home-school link connection. Students will be able to do work outside the classroom, and the teacher will be able to see the progress they make. In the resources, they will have access to the videos, which we will talk about in a bit. Teachers will also access a range of resources once they activate their codes in their teachers' books in macmillaneducationeverywhere.com. They will have to use the code in their teachers' books. And once they activate the code in the teacher's book, they get access to the Teacher's Resource Center, plus the Teacher's Presentation Kit. In the Teacher's Resource Center, they will get a range of resources. They will also be able to manage their students' practice kit and monitor how well their students are doing, which we will also talk about in another video. Now, the book Academy Stars has certain features. One of the features is about student confidence. The other feature is about engaging students with a range of techniques. The most important feature of the course is that it has a literacy-based approach to teaching language for skills and skills for language. And you'll also notice that there are 21st century skills practice in the course. Let's first look at how the course approaches language. Now, let's assume in the unit students will learn a grammar item, can. So you will see in the pupils book that this is generally on the second double spread. You will see something called the grammar time and what we call the grammar focus section. And as you can see here, we have I can, I can't, and etc. Now, while we are here, I would also like to show you some of the features of the Teacher's Presentation Kit. At the beginning, you can see we have a picture and then the vocabulary. Each vocabulary section has what we call the vocabulary flashcard exercise. Click on the icon there. We have about 3 different game types for each book. But for each vocabulary set, you have 1 game. So here, as you click on the word, students can see the word. If you like, you can progress through the book by clicking the arrow here to go to the next exercise. Here you can see there is an interactive exercise with the audio. You can play the audio and show the answers one by one, or show all the answers and reset the activity. If you want to play the audio, you can see here there's an audio icon. If you want to view single page, what you will need to do is come to this icon here, and you can zoom in, see the sections larger. If you want to zoom out, you can zoom out. If you want to annotate, you can use the pen here, choose or write on something. Later on, you can also remove these annotations, select the annotation and delete, or you can change the color and depth of the line. You can increase this. Let's delete this for now. once you select, delete. Okay. Likewise, when we go on to the grammar section, you will see that there are videos. If you want to access the video, you can just click on the video icon next to the page and you can access the videos. So that's a short summary of the digital. We also have a timer feature if you want to gamify the exercises. You can set the time here and then start. In the last 10 seconds it will count down. Students will be able to hear the clicking noise so they know the time is running up. Okay, let's now go back to how we address grammar. So we see the grammar, it is here in levels 1 and 2, and you can also see here that we have a grammar time story, a short sketch. Now, one of the most important things about a literacy-based approach is that grammar is taught for text. So whatever grammar you will see in those grammar focus sections will also appear in the skills sections. You will also see speaking exercises, but the grammar will also reappear in those speaking exercises. You will notice that in the reading lessons, the grammar item that we highlighted will reappear, but not only that grammar item, but grammar items from the previous lessons. Likewise, in the skills lessons, because the students see the grammar so many times, this will help them improve their grammar. You will also see in the skills lessons, most of the time the exercise they are doing are real life like. But when they are doing the real life like skills, they will see the grammar item that is presented in a more authentic context. Now let's once again summarize this. You will see I can in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different texts in the book. You will first see it in the grammar context, then in the graphic grammar, in the reading, speaking, writing, review, and last but not least, in the reading time lessons. Now let's take a look at examples of this. So you have the grammar time here, can, can't, and then you have the grammar focus here, and then in the reading you can see that we have examples of the grammar can, can't, but as you can see the text is not only can, can't, because this is a magazine-like reading text. Then you will also see in the speaking lesson, the language in use, can you, no I can't, yes I can, and then they need to do some practice here, can you send a pen? And last but not least, in the unit, you will see that in the writing lesson, the aim of the writing lesson is joining sentences, but they will still use can, can't. Now, you would expect this to be the end of the can, can't, but it's not, because every 3 units, in every book you have a section called reading time. And the reading time is basically a reading lesson for the purpose of developing reading. But in this reading lesson, which is, we have 3 or 4 in each level, again you can see examples of can, can't. Can, can't. So this is after unit 5, but let's take a look at another reading time. Where's George? Or in fact, we can even look at the one in the last unit. Let's take a look at, I don't know, the Little Red Riding Hood reading text as well, and see if there are any examples of can, can't. There you go. Can you hear? Can you see? She can see. Can you see? I can hear. But this is just a story. But if you look at the highlighted language, you also see other examples. What I'm trying to show you is that in a literacy-based course, grammar is taught for students to cope with text. And while the students are coping with text, they see examples of the grammar they have learnt over and over again. So throughout the book, students will see can, can't in all of these reading lessons. But they won't see reading lessons with only can and can't. They will see a combination of grammar, some of which is for the previous units. So the students will be revising. So as you can see from these examples, grammar is for skills and skills is for grammar. Now let's go back to our unit 3, and we will also talk about other subjects, not only the grammar. In each level, you will see that there are 3 types of videos. One of the types of videos we're talking about are the reading time videos for the stories that I showed you a short while ago. Those stories also have animations. But we also have what we call graphic grammar videos and communication language in use videos. Now, these 2 videos are to practice and consolidate the grammar. Now, you have been teaching for a while, and you know that when you teach your students can, can't, some of your students will learn, but some will not learn. These graphic grammar videos are also available for the students in their pupils' resources. Now, let me show you what these are like. The graphic grammar video. Don't forget, students also have access to these. I would encourage you to listen to these. These are mainly videos to help the students understand the meaning of the grammar item. So you can see there's an animation. So this is just a very short example. So if your students need more support, so some of your students haven't learned can, can't, you can encourage them to watch the videos at home. And while they are at home watching the videos, you can also, from your teacher's resources, each level has worksheets. You can provide your students with extra language worksheets. So we were doing Unit 5. And you will see that from Unit 5, the students can do more photocopyable exercises for can and can't. So this is the grammar one. But imagine, if the student doesn't learn this grammar item and you give them the photocopyables, this is meaningless for the student. So what you need to do is tell the student to watch the graphic grammar video and then do the exercises here. Okay, now let's go back to the presentation. Okay. So please bear in mind the graphic grammars will support your students and they will be able to consolidate their learning. Now, about think and practice. In the book, you will notice that we have various exercises where students will need to do thinking exercises. For example, here you will see that once the student has done the vocabulary, we have a light bulb icon. This means that students need to think while they're doing this exercise. The same goes for the reading lesson. So when they finish the reading, they have thinking type exercises. Last but not least, I would like to talk about the skills approach. Now, you have already seen that the grammar is represented in reading and writing. But in addition to that, we also have Young Learner Exam Practice. And the Young Learner Exam Practice is in the workbook. They are the colored pages in the workbook. So whenever you see these colored pages, this is preparation for the starters, movers, and flyers exam, but you are not using the flyers level. So if you take a look, it will show you with the icon here that there is a Young Learner Exam preparation practice. I would like to thank you all very much for listening to this presentation. So we've summarized the approach to grammar and skills. I hope you enjoy using the book. Have a nice academic year. Goodbye to you all.